In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the floor plan editor in SceneForge Studio. You'll see I have a basic scene here with some lights, two stand-ins, my camera with the frustum enabled, as well as, of course, our LED wall in the background. Now we're currently in stage mode, but you'll see that if we switch to floor plan mode, we can see a representation of my camera with its frustum, the light in the scene, as well as an object representing the curve of the LED wall. To move around floor plan mode, I can click and drag with two fingers on a trackpad or my right or middle mouse button on a physical mouse to pan around. I can also zoom in and out with the scroll wheel to move around my scene. Now, before we get started actually building a floor plan, it's worth noting that when you're in shoot mode, every snapshot you take includes a screenshot of the floor plan at that point. So, when you go into storyboard mode, you can see a top-down view of the scene from there. Now, if I want to have certain objects visible in the floor plan that are not by default, for example our stand-ins here, I can simply click Show in Floor Plan in their properties. And now in floor plan, you can see I have little boxes representing the bounds of that object. Rigged characters, meaning they have skeletons, will also automatically get represented by a character icon. Now, these are just made up of objects from stage mode, but if I wanted to actually draw a floor plan, I can use the buttons on the left-hand side. By default, I'm in selection mode, but I can switch to eraser mode, which doesn't do anything just yet, wall chain mode, or wall draw mode, as well as door and window mode that we'll get to in a moment. Wall chain mode allows me to simply click and drag, and then click repeatedly to create a chain of walls. To exit wall chain mode, I can right-click or two-finger click. Or, if I want a more traditional drawing method, I can switch to draw mode, and that allows me to just simply click and drag, much like you'd expect. And that is how we can draw walls on our floor plan. To delete walls, simply switch to eraser mode, and click on them to delete each individual element. You'll see that by default my cursor snaps to the grid, each 1 meter tile. I can turn that off by unchecking this. And so now, when I draw, I can draw on diagonals, no longer locked to the X and Y grid. But it still does snap to those points. I can turn that off by unchecking the magnet button. Now I have full freedom to draw anywhere I like. I'm going to go ahead and delete these walls, and just work with our bounds around our LED wall here. I can set a wall height in meters. In this case, we'll just do 3 meters high. And you can see that in stage mode, it actually builds our LED wall within the walls that we drew. You can see we actually have our height that we set in 3D. By default, it uses a wall material with a hardwood floor material. I'm going to change the wall height to encompass the LED wall. And you can see now we have a nice studio space. Of course, we do need doors and windows, so we can switch to door mode to place a door along one of the walls, and switch to window mode to do the same for windows. You can see that when I switch to stage mode, now we have our windows and doors visible on our floor plan. We can open doors and close them by clicking on them, like so. You can always rotate the camera in stage mode by clicking these arrows over here. And if you get lost, you can always click this button to recenter the camera on the LED wall or the center of your map. And that is an overview of the floor plan editor in SceneForge Studio.